One would have thought, well, surely God would have been in this mighty wind that tore things apart because it's a demonstration of power. Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. And then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind there came an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. Our modern world is filled with noise. There are those who would call it noise pollution, and I tend to agree with them. Think of all the different ways in which we experience noise. Leaf blowers, lawnmowers, weed whackers, cars with trunks that rattle because of the sound system, cell phones that ring or vibrate, that there is noise all around us all the time. But sometimes the noise prevents us from hearing God when we most need to hear and experience God. I couldn't help but think about the story of Elijah. Elijah was an incredible prophet. The faith that he had in God enabled him to do amazing things. But there was a situation going on in his life that caused him to want to give up. And when it was time for him to experience God, one would have thought, well, surely God would have been in this mighty wind that tore things apart because it's a demonstration of power. Surely God would have been in the earthquake that's powerful, splitting the mountains. Surely God would have been in that consuming fire. But God was in a gentle whisper that could only be heard in silence. And it was in those moments of silence that Elijah experienced the depth of God, that Elijah experienced God's renewing power in his life. We all need to find that quiet, calm place within us. And maybe you are at a point in your life, or maybe you remember very clearly when it felt like everything nailed down in your life was coming loose. Everything you counted on was coming loose, and you were coming undone. The Bible gives us hope for times just like this. We need to remember the psalmist David when he wrote, "God alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be shaken." And we need to join with the psalmist. We need to join with Elijah. We need to put the noise out of our lives so that God can enter into that place within us. That place of stillness and quiet. A place that's not riled up by a shaking earth. It's not riled up by strong winds or flame, but is settled and quiet, so that we can hear that still, small voice of confidence, of love, of protection.